Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Slayer, back here again with another video. I'm a recovering alcoholic. I have over 4 months of sobriety, and I make these videos not only to help myself stay sober, but to also help you guys out there stay sober as well. Today's topic, I'm a little bit in a rush because I just have a lot of work to do, but today's topic is a super serious one. And that's drinking and driving. Man, I've spoke about drinking and driving in a couple of my past videos. And I've said it's about one of the dumbest things on planet Earth that you can do. And unfortunately, I can't say that I haven't done it. Unfortunately, I've done it several times. Unfortunately, I've gotten into car crashes. But fortunately, I never killed myself or killed somebody else. That's where I am fortunate. And a lot of the times, people don't get so fortunate. You know, guys, I can't stress this enough. Even if you aren't going to give up the alcohol, if it's just, you're not ready to give it up, it's just not your time. And I understand that. I've said it before, man, we all get to sobriety at our own time. Nobody is going to be able to force you there any quicker. You're going to get there when you're ready to get there. And some people, unfortunately, are never ready to get there. But anyways, but my point is even if you are going to partake in drinking and, you're going to fuel that monster or whatever, please make the decision at least not to drink and drive. The consequences that can come from drinking and driving, I don't think people quite understand. It's one of those things that until it happens to you, you just don't get it. And that's kind of how humans are. I've really noticed that, man. We're just kind of that way, People, it's hard for people to understand going through something unless they've been through it. But I'm telling you right now, guys, you do not ever want to find yourself in the predicament of, getting into a crash, and, killing yourself. Or at the very least, you could, paralyze yourself. You could be in a wheelchair for the rest of your life. And imagine that. Imagine if you were in a wheelchair for the rest of your life with that thought, just haunting over you, just telling you, man, you shouldn't have drank and drove. What were you thinking? Why did you do that? And then there's the other side of it. You get into the car and you kill somebody. God forbid you kill, a family or something, or a child. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know if I could live with myself after that. And not only that, you're going to go to prison as well. It's not like you're just, gonna kill somebody and now you get to live with that. No, you're gonna go think about that in a prison for quite some time, man. Probably 10 plus years. I mean, I'm not 100% sure what a manslaughter is. I think it depends on different states. But it's another situation that you don't want to find yourself in. And I've actually heard cases of people being charged with murder, like second-degree murder for that. And that you're getting, you could get 25 to life. And do you even want to live anymore after knowing that you took somebody's life for such a dumb reason? When you really think about it, it's so stupid and avoidable. But I've said it, man. And I want to make this is a really good point and something that I want to say. And I'm speaking for myself. When you drink, the dangerous thing about drinking is that all your inhibitions go right out the window. They don't exist anymore, man. At least for me, when you get to a certain level of intoxication, your inhibitions go out the window. And there were times where I would give somebody my keys and be like, I'm going to get drunk. Please, don't give me my keys. And I would get wasted, and then I would come over to that person and just start hounding them, like, give me my keys, give me my keys. And a lot of the times, the people would just end up giving in, and I'd wake up like, what the hell happened? You know what I mean? There was a story one time of me driving home one night. I went to this party. I got completely wasted. I ended up stealing a bunch of beer out of this person's fridge. I mean, it's like I've said before, guys, when the drunk version of me is demonic. I mean, there's, I know it might seem a little extreme, but I'm just being serious, guys. I'm not a good person. The drunk side of me is not a good person. And I remember I stole a whole bunch of beer, went and jumped in my car, and I drove home. Well, I woke up the next day to to my dad saying there's a cop outside. And I was like, what happened? And he was like, your car was parked in the middle of the street, like several houses down. I'm lucky I even made it home, first of all, but I just left my car in the middle of the street and walked the rest of the way. And I remember the next morning I got into my car and I'm looking around, I'm like, what the hell? And I look into the back and I remember like lifting up something just like this. And there was like a 24 pack of beer just scattered all over the place, man. Horrifying, you know. It's not a good feeling, you know, because you don't even know what happened. It's not worth putting yourself in a situation like that ever. And I actually am going to tell you guys 2 stories to go along with this, personal stories of people that I know that, you know, some serious stuff came of their drinking and driving. The first one was actually my uncle. And this is, I've brought this story up before, but this is actually kind of what woke him up into the fact that he needed to stop drinking. And he actually does still have a drink on occasion, but it's really on occasion, and he's gotten to the point that that's all he does. But at this time period in his life, he was going through a lot. You know, maybe he's not a real alcoholic, I'm not sure, but he was drinking a ton at this time period, and people were, you know, concerned about him, and he ended up getting behind the wheel, and he spun his car several times and almost died. And it woke him up, man. He's lucky to be alive. You know, God gave him a second chance to be here and, you know, have another opportunity. And the other story that I want to tell you guys about, this is really sad. But this is the reality, and this is what can come if you decide to get behind the wheel intoxicated. My mom, she has a best friend. Well, they're not really best friends anymore, but at one time, this lady was her best friend, a family friend, and her mom's boyfriend, which she was super close to. I knew who he was. We all knew who he was. He was close with us as well. And I knew that this guy had a drinking problem because every single time that he would be over, he'd be out drinking pretty much everybody there. He was a severe alcoholic. My early drinking days was like the last, like, you know, couple times that I seen him was like my early drinking days. So I wasn't super into it, you know, at the time. It was like the early stages. But he would always outdrink everybody. And there were several alcoholics at these get-togethers, man, and he would outdrink all of them. I remember he would come up with an entire cooler full of shooters and be handing them out, throwing them out to underage people, and nothing against him. It's just when you get intoxicated, man, you're not thinking. You know what I mean? Sober version of him, he would have never done something like that. But I remember that of him. And I remember also that he drove and rode a motorcycle. And, well, one night he decided to go to a bar and get completely and entirely wasted. And this was a normal thing for him. This was something that he did every night. You know, he was very heavily intoxicated. Apparently he was going to the restroom and taking shooters, which is something that I would have been doing. That's something that I used to do in the disease. I would always have shooters on me. And he went out, got on his motorcycle, and I guess somebody actually seen him, and he was like stumbling on his motorcycle, like falling over and stuff, and they tried to stop him, and he just did not listen, and he decided to get on the motorcycle, and he took off, flew, and got on this open road, and the person actually followed them because they were scared that, you know, something was going to happen, and he ended up losing control, and the bike spun out from underneath him, and he rolled and just, I mean, brutally hit the concrete. And he didn't die, but to this day, he's in a vegetative, he's like a vegetable. He's in a vegetable type of state. Yeah, that's what ended up happening to him. Like, he'll never be able to communicate the right way again. He doesn't really know how to walk properly. He will always have nurses and people taking care of him. He will always have to live in a special home. Because why? Because he decided to drink and get behind, you know, on a motorcycle, and he crashed. And it's a super sad story, man. He wasn't a bad guy. He really wasn't, and that's often the case with a lot of us, man. You know, I read your guys' comments. You guys are good people. I'm not a bad person at heart. I'm really not. I'm a pretty good person. you know, in my core. But alcohol changes us, guys, and it makes us do things that we would have never done in a million years. And that's my point, guys. There's consequences to these things, and what a sad story. It makes me very sad to know that he'll never have a life again, man. He probably will be around for another 40 years, you know. Well, probably not now that he's so injured, but, you know, he probably could have been around for another 40 years and had a decent life if he would have just chosen not to drink and drive, or he would have chosen to get the help. So guys, I just want to urge every single one of you, do not get behind the wheel and drink and drive. Do not let others encourage you. If you've been drinking and you have a buddy and he's like, fuck it, dude, let's just go get behind, let's just go somewhere, you know, I don't care. Do not do it. You can walk. If it's that important, walk. You know, seriously, if you really need something that bad, walk your ass and go and get it, and not only save your life, but possibly other people's lives as well, man. I cannot stress it enough. Do not drink and drive. I've been in multiple car crashes. I'm lucky to be alive. I really am. It's nothing to fuck around with. And yeah, man, that's the message, guys. Please, you know, don't ever do that. Please learn from the stories that I told you guys in this video. I don't want any of you guys to end up in that type of state or worse, you know, or in prison, dead. None of these things I want to see for any of you guys. So please heed my message. Never drink and drive. Just don't do it. Even if you're going to partake in it, please don't drink and drive, and be careful, guys. All right. Thank you so much, guys. I just, you know, I got a lot of work to do tonight. I wanted to just hop on here. That thought was weighing really heavy on my mind. I was thinking about that guy. And I just, you know, the thought was really weighing heavy on my mind, and it's a Friday night, and I know how many people drink and drive, and I used to think that it was no big deal. I really did. I used to not think that it was any big deal at all. And at the very least, you could get a DUI, and at the worst, man, you could end up dying. So please, guys, do not drink and drive. Be careful out there. Have a safe and fun, sober weekend if you can, please. And we'll get through it together, guys, one day at a time. One day at a time. So, yeah, man, until next time, guys, I'm going to be back real soon. I have an amazing topic for the next video, so you guys are going to love that. And, yeah, man, until next time, I'll see you guys real soon. Peace.